Hi babes, and welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to talk to you guys today about one of my favorite topics, which is the divine feminine energy. And the reason this is so special to me because I feel like a lot of times as women, we're told to shut out that part of ourselves, the part of ourselves that is nurturing and loving and caring and that is slow and soft. It's fascinating to me that the divine feminine, which is, what brings life to this planet and what really nurtures us to become our best, most loving, intuitive selves, is so pushed out of us by society and the media and the way that we're brought up from the time that we're children. It's really pushing that part of us out. And it's really detrimental to us as human beings because having the masculine and the feminine present in our lives is crucial to being a whole human being. We all have the masculine and the feminine energies, and that has nothing to do with gender. It has to do with the different energies that we embody as beings. And I feel like merging the two together and making sure that we allow both to be present in our lives and that we utilize both is super special to me, and that is one of the reasons why I named my online dance studio Sol y Luna. So the sun and the moon, the masculine and the feminine. Today I really want to focus on the feminine energy because being a woman, I feel like that is something that learning how to cultivate made such a huge difference in my life as a person and just how I feel about myself as a woman, and it's truly shifted my entire way of being and moving in the world. When I think of feminine energy, I think of intuition and creativity and magnetism and being grounded but also being able to flow through the world. I think of empathy and being open and authenticity. I think all of these things really encompass what it is to embody your divine feminine energy. And from the time we're little, a lot of these things are pushed away from us, like our intuition, like being grounded. We feel like we constantly have to be in our masculine and working hard and pushing, and really closing ourselves off to opportunities, to people, to love, to experiences, to self-love. All of those things are kind of pushed aside, and what we're left with is a lot of wounding, a lot of divine feminine wounding. And that's why a lot of times, especially around our 20s, maybe even up into our 30s and 40s, we start to realize that those pieces of ourselves have been missing and that we have to learn how to draw them back in. So wounds from this can be shying away from your potential because you're insecure, because you don't feel good enough or capable, feeling needy or seeking approval, or suppressing emotions. All of those things are wounds that can most definitely be improved and healed over time. It is a process. It will take a little bit of time to come back to that which we started with when we were born. There are so many incredible ways to heal our divine feminine energy and to really embrace it in the best way that we can in order to be able to move through the world in a more divine and goddess embodied energy. All that goddess is just, she really embraces that side of her divine feminine. She doesn't ignore the masculine, she embraces that as well, but the divine feminine is this very special entity that allows her to be this glowing, magnificent, and powerful being that she is. So first and foremost, of course, my favorite way to heal and embody the divine feminine is through moving your body, through dance. More importantly, in a more sensual way, I feel like really taps into that feminine energy through styles of dance like burlesque and Latin ballroom and heels, or even things such as yoga that allow you to really tap into those parts of yourself, the sacral chakra, everything that the divine feminine embodies and embraces. Tapping into something such as movement and dance really helps you to cultivate that in a unique way that's also bringing joy into your life. So it's really the best combination possible. And this doesn't necessarily even have to be structured, such as a dance class. Let's say that you're working at home and you're really frustrated and you've got a lot going on. Why don't you just turn on a Spotify playlist that's called Free Dance, Embodied Movement, Divine Feminine. Turn that baby on and just get up and start moving in a way that feels good to you. And it can have no structure, just completely free form. Of course, to me, that is my favorite way to embody my divine feminine. My second way that I love to embody the divine feminine is through creating new things. And I feel like this is really important because a lot of times, especially being entrepreneurs or women in business or even dancers, we're creating a product or we're creating a service that we can monetize, or we're creating something to get feedback from other people. And a really important aspect of creativity is to create imperfectly and to create for ourselves, because that free form of creating, just like a free form of dancing, it taps into that divine feminine, that intuition, that spontaneity and creativity that a lot of times we don't get to experience on a day-to-day basis. So whether that be painting or taking some really beautiful self-portraits of yourself and editing them in a really cool way, which is one of my favorite things to do. I love editing and I love adding really cool, moons and sparkles and rainbows to my photos. It's one of my favorite ways to be creative. So anything like that that brings you joy, baking in the kitchen is another thing that I really love to do that taps into that creativity. Any of those things that bring you joy is worth it. I know for me, where I'm on Instagram and Facebook and Pinterest a lot, I'm consuming a lot of information, other people's creativity. And that's why it's really important to tap into our own creativity, because if we don't for a really long time, our creativity starts to be muddled by what everyone else is doing, and we kind of lose that sense of self. The third thing that I love to do to really tap into my feminine energy is to get in nature. Nature is so powerful and healing, and Mother Nature is there to kind of catch us and be with us when we need it the most. So I feel like for me, anytime I've been working all day and my brain is just completely, zapped from the day, the second I step outside into the wind and the sun on my face and I hear the leaves rustling and birds, or I see the bees and the flowers, to me that is such a special moment and a way to really connect to my feminine, to slow down and just take a second and realize how special it is that I'm even on this planet, that I am in my feminine, that I am a woman. And it kind of brings you back to that center, that sacral, and really connects you to the bigger picture. Whether this is going on a hike or just going on a walk around your neighborhood in the middle of your workday, or lying in the grass on a blanket with a good book, that is one of my favorite ways to just relax and reconnect to the earth. Another way to cultivate the divine feminine, to really embody that energy, is to allow love to come into your life. And whether that be love from a romantic partner or friendships or from family, or most importantly self-love, allowing all of that into our space is so important for the feminine. She needs that. She needs to be nurtured, but she also needs to be able to nurture. And it's that reciprocity that's so powerful. A lot of times when we're really in our masculine and we really go, go, go all the time, we forget to allow that love in, or we think that that love is going to keep us from a certain goal or aspiration. But really, if we're really in our feminine, we're able to learn how to balance the two, balance all the love that people want to give us, that we want to give ourselves, with our dreams and aspirations. Something that I've been really loving lately to embody my feminine is crystals. Crystals such as rose quartz and moonstone and amethyst, they're a few of my favorites to really connect to the energy, because crystals themselves are energy. They put off a certain energy. And it's fascinating how the different crystals can pull those different pieces of our divine feminine back into our space. Such as with moonstone, it really helps to balance our hormones and to connect to our womb space, our fertility, and it helps with our intuition, really being able to bring that to the forefront of our life, so that everything that we do in the world, we move through it with our intuition, we listen to our intuition, and we understand when it is trying to communicate with us. Or with rose quartz, which is heart-centered, it is very focused on the loving and empathetic aspect of the divine feminine. It relates to better self-worth and confidence, which a lot of times when we have suppressed that divine feminine, we can be very self-conscious or not in our worth. And then with amethyst, it's really special because it allows us to center ourselves, to slow down and relax, and to balance our emotions, which if you notice, when your feminine energy is off and out of whack and you're a little bit too much in the masculine, your emotions can kind of be all over the place with mood swings and different things like that. So using amethyst to center those emotions and feelings and ground us is so important. And I like to use all these through meditation, which is a great way to embody the divine feminine energy. So when you meditate, you could focus on the crystals and what it is that they bring to you. You could focus simply on healing the divine feminine, or you could focus on the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra, as I mentioned before, is our womb space. It is the center for sexuality and sensuality. It is the place that we gain our creativity from. All of that, if you focus on meditating and really sending love and light to that space, you will notice such a huge difference in your feminine energy. Another thing that we can do to really embody our divine feminine is to get wet. And when I say get wet, I mean be in the water, be around water, because water connects to our womb and our sacral chakra. Whether that's taking a bath, which is something I really love to do, adding some crystals and some candles and really great Spotify playlist and some flowers to really bring ourselves into that divine feminine energy, whether it's swimming in the ocean, if you're lucky enough to have an ocean around you, or whether it's sitting out on your porch while it's raining, just listening to the rain and really being quiet. And in addition to connecting to water, we also can connect to the moon and the moon cycles and phases, because as women, our cycles are with the moon. So using the phases such as the new moon or the full moon to manifest or to really focus on cultivating our divine feminine energy and working with that and making sure that we're present and understanding what's going on with the moon, it helps us to understand what's going on in our bodies with our cycles. Not stress enough the importance of being connected to our bodies in that way. Of course, this doesn't apply to men, but as women, learning how to connect with that part of us, because we are able to produce life and we are able to be fertile and grow beings in our womb space, even if that's not the goal for us, even just being aware of how our bodies are working will help us to tap into our health and feel better, whether it's gut health issues, whether it's mood swings or things like that that maybe we don't know how to control. Tapping into our cycles, our moon cycle, is a really, really powerful thing to be aware of. And then the last way, and the way that kind of ties everything together to tap into our divine feminine energy, is to simply just slow down. In order to do all of these things, we have to create the space for that, which goes back to creativity in a very special and unique way. When we create the space to allow ourselves to take the time to slow down, to take the time to understand our bodies, to take the time to play and have fun and tap into our intuition, that is where the magic happens. The divine feminine is not rushing. She is not impatiently waiting for something to happen. She's allowing. And that allowing energy really draws us into this space of intuition, of creativity. That's where all of that stuff can really just cultivate. And then when we are ready to move into our masculine, we're prepared, we're solid, we're confident, and it can all just fall together really perfectly. So those are my favorite ways to tap into my divine feminine energy, my goddess energy. I feel like I really learned a lot of this in the last year, and starting to implement them slowly has been such a beautiful change in my life. Just understanding that both the masculine and the feminine are necessary to live a fulfilled life, to be healthy, to be happy. And once we understand that, I truly feel like that our lives can change for the better. I love talking to you guys about this, truly one of my favorite subjects. And if you like this video, please comment below that you liked it. That way I know to make more videos just like this one. If you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to my channel and turn your notification bell on. That way you never miss a video or any of the new dance tutorials or yoga classes that I put up. I am so excited to be bringing more stuff from Studio Sole Luna to you guys, and I will have my membership up and running soon, so stay tuned for that. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.